Yo, yo, what up, what up, what up, what up? It's your girl V-Henny, man. You already know the vibes. Welcome to the Artistry, where we talk about music, entertainment, and the everyday struggle. We got your boy, super producer, musician, entrepreneur, motivational speaker, a cultivator in itself. Amadeus, how you doing?
Hey, great intro. I'm good. I'm good. Happy Friday. Happy Sunday. Happy Monday. Happy Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday.
Hey. You know what's crazy? As a entrepreneur, sometimes it doesn't matter. You know how some people is like TGIF? I feel like as an entrepreneur, we're constantly on on a hustle. It doesn't matter the days, it's just a matter of that you're waking up the next day and everything is a blessing, you know?
Right. Amen. Amen. Amen to that.
So we already know 2021 is starting a little weird in a sense, but has that pandemic affected you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. In a big way. And I'll harp on it briefly because it's just it's for me, it's about forward. It's about
Okay.
moving forward. It really took a toll on me mentally, spiritually, physically,
Mm.
financially. So yes, I'm not gonna harp on it too long because if you're not careful, it'll allow you to go backwards. You know what I mean? And when 2021 came in, I made a decision to just stay present and to
Okay.
stay focused and move forward. So I encourage you to do the same. But yes, it definitely affected me in every way possible. But this first work week of the year has been amazing. Like I
Awesome.
feel great. I wasn't making any music last year. Like it was a lot. So, but this first week has been great. Yesterday I was sharing with my queen. I was like, yo, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Yo, I haven't said that in months. Like,
Wow.
because, it wasn't things, to do. It wasn't like I was
Yeah.
busy. I wasn't like my schedule was busy. It was not. I wasn't like I was fighting to remain peaceful, at peace. I was
Mm.
fighting to remain in the right space mentally. So, I kept saying I'm tired. I'm tired last night and I'm exhausted. But at the same time, in the same breath, I was saying, thank you, God. I was like,
Mm.
thank you for the new doors that's being opened. Thank you for the opportunities that's been presented to myself. Thank you. It feels good to be tired. It feels good to be tired from having interviews and sit downs all day and speaking to people and sending out music. It felt good.
You know what is crazy though, right? You're saying that because sometimes like people look at it like you said, it's a blessing. Is a blessing in disguise to just feel like, yo, like I'm
Yeah,
moving productively and just towards everything I've been working for, you know.
I
For
agree.
me, that's the beauty in chaos.
I agree. Yeah,
You
I
know, I,
agree
I
with that.
wanted to I wanted to dive very quickly. Yo, you and I have a lot in common.
Okay, tell me,
I'm,
tell
I'm
me.
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how. So I know you're from the Bronx. 169 Washington Ave,
Mm-hmm.
VX,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
188 in Valentine.
Wow.
Yeah. I grew up pretty much all over the Bronx, and then I was just diving into like the fact that you're from the Bronx, the fact that you went to Catholic school.
Yes.
I went to Catholic school as well.
What school?
I went to Our Lady of Mercy right down Fordham
Wow.
Road.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I went there, and then the whole cleaning up on Saturdays as a Latina. If
Yeah.
you don't clean
Listen.
up on Saturdays,
Listen. Yes. 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 So you relate. You understand. The pain and the struggle of if that crib ain't clean, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? And
man,
that was in full effect. As a kid, and that's in full effect right now because I am with a Latina queen,
ooh,
and she plays no games, and she's focused, and the house is going to definitely be clean no matter what. You know what I mean? Like you
yeah.
said, and Saturdays is normally the designated day, and I'll be trying to get out of it sometimes.
Nah, that doesn't work, bro.
Definitely
Does
doesn't
not
work.
work at
Nah,
all, you
G.
know?
The only thing you can do is swap days. Like it ain't that it's not gonna happen. You should do it Friday. You want to do it Sunday, but what's gonna happen? So it's just
Mm.
about choose the day. You know what I
Nah,
mean? So
nah, that's a
yeah,
fact. That's a fact. But growing up in the Bronx, did you feel like you had a big important shoe to fill because of the fact that hip hop was born in the Bronx? was
No,
founded in the Bronx?
no, I didn't feel that way. I didn't.
Okay.
I was probably too young to have those type of thoughts. You know what I mean?
Okay.
For me, it was just more of like I didn't even realize at that age that that was the case. Like that hip hop was actually started in the Bronx. I just
Okay.
felt the energy of we lived not too far from one another, so I just felt the energy of hip hop. Everywhere I went in the BX, I didn't travel. Excuse me, like in between boroughs like that.
Okay.
Maybe Harlem, but it wasn't a lot. So I kind of pretty much everything I was involved in or went to was in the Bronx. You know what I mean? So I just kind of felt that energy and connected with hip hop. And then when I got into the game, I didn't really like, oh, I'm a rep for the city. I was just like, this is what I love. This is what I love to do. And I'm going to work on, bettering myself in my craft as a musician, a drummer. And once I decided to become a producer, as a producer as well, so it's just about hustling and being the best me I can be, representing me and what I love and what I believe in. And then later on down the line, as I got older, of course, I started to really appreciate the borough and really have an understanding of the fact that hip hop was born there. And then it all made sense to me. Not that you can't, create hip hop and be from anywhere else, but that natural, organic, and of course, God giving me my gifts, kind of forming together, kind of made me understand. Yeah, definitely, I feel like the borough has something to do with, my sound and what I bring to the table.
Gotcha. I will say this. I'm gonna give you your flowers right now because yes, although throughout time in your career you grew an understanding, but let's keep it a buck. How does it feel knowing that you are a part of the growth and the shift with hip hop? Because going back then to where we're at now, you were a big part of this whole shift and growth.
Right. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I think each and every day there's a new level of appreciation that I have, and being proud of myself, and obviously having these amazing conversations, and you giving me my flowers while I'm here, and celebrating what I've done and what I do, for music and for the culture. So I'm grateful. So every time I hear something like this of this magnitude, it's definitely a blessing, and it's humbling, and I'm proud. I'm proud of, because sometimes you focus on the future and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, maybe what you haven't done and accomplished as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I've learned a long time ago to celebrate what you've done, celebrate the space that you're in right now, because when you think about the space that you're in right now, it's a whole lot further than you were a year ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? So I think it's very important to celebrate life and celebrate each moment and each victory as you move, throughout your life. So yeah, I'm grateful, man. I'm
That's
grateful.
dope.
Thank
That's
you so
dope.
much.
Not definitely. Let's go back to somewhat like how mentioning the fact that you was in you went to Catholic school, but and I know church was a big part of your startup.
Absolutely.
I know that sometime last year, Bishop Pastor Michelle White passed away. Correct?
Yes, yes, correct.
And she was pretty much in a nutshell. She gave you the chance to consider, becoming a professional drummer.
Right.
How knowing the correlation, has that impacted you?
Oh yeah, in a big way. It's very difficult to digest. I've been in church all my life. I've built a relationship with God as a young kid. So, you know, but that, to be honest and transparent as I will always be, I didn't understand that. I don't think any of us that is connected to her understood, God saying, "Hey, come home with me right now."
Mm-hmm.
She's put in so much work in the kingdom of God, and from the preaching to the singing to the investing in souls and help saving souls. And you're like, out of everybody you could have chose, like
Yeah.
this is who you've chosen, to bring home, to bring to heaven with you. So it's definitely a hard pill to swallow. Um, she's done so much work, but we know she had so much planned, and I don't feel like, she became a bishop a few years ago, which is incredible. But I feel like there was so much more in store for her, just as a person, and in regards to accomplishments, because she's given and instilled so much in so many different people. And I always wanted her to reach a level of, like, a TD Jakes or a Joel Osteen because she had that type of power spiritually, but
Okay.
she was an amazing person. And then you look at different people and pastors and churches that really blow up and become mega churches, and I've always wanted that for her. And she never really cared about that,
Okay.
but I always envisioned that for her. I just felt she deserved that type of big platform. But you know, God is in control. You know, God is in control, and His destiny and what He had for her and her journey. That's I guess that's what He wrote. That's the book and the story that He wrote for her. So it's day to day. I'm learning to live with it. You never get over it. You know, losing anyone, you never get over it. You learn to live with it. And the best thing I can do is one, to continue to say her name,
Okay.
um, to continue to spread God's word, you know, which is what she's taught me to do. Keep God first, love God, keep pushing no matter what, be a blessing no matter what, you know. So all the morals and everything she's instilled with me is just continue that. And with that being said, that'll allow her name and what she's taught to live on through each and every single one that I come in contact with. And I feel like that is definitely something that she's always been proud of me for, and what I've done musically. But then with her no longer being here in the physical form, is how I can continue to allow her spirit, you know, to move throughout the world, through me and through everyone that she's touched. So I'm grateful for you for mentioning her, and bringing her up, you know, in this interview. And as you can see, it's a little easier to discuss and talk about,
Yeah.
and that's the growth and the peace, and the strength that God has given me, you know, in this new year that I'm appreciative of and that I stand on. So rest in peace, sleep in peace, beautiful angel, Queen, Bishop Pastor Michelle White. Love you always, and will continue to spread your name and spread the word that you've taught us, God's word, as long as I have breath in my body. So thank you for that moment.
No, definitely. People don't understand that when it comes to building your brand or building yourself in itself, right? Everything is a part of the process. And she was definitely part of that process of you becoming the person you are today.
Absolutely.
You understand? I do apologize for your loss. I know, like you mentioned, like you're in a place now where you can speak of it. But again, let's go back on to 2020. You mentioned this
Right.
was a place where you was going through a lot emotionally. So
Hmm.
imagine this right here.
Oh
It
man,
was a hook.
it's tough. Yeah, it was tough. You know, but she's always taught us to be strong. Um, you know, and you know, she suffered, but not long. You know,
Okay.
which is a good thing too. You know, and you never want to see anyone suffer. You know,
Yeah.
I think when we want our loved ones to stay here on earth, um, and I mean this in a positive way, you know, it's a selfish act
Yes.
to allow them or to see them go through the pain and the suffering and say, stay here. You know what I mean? Like, keep fighting. You know, at a certain point, man, it's like, I don't want to feel this pain no more. I don't want to feel what I've felt. I don't want to go through these exams and these tests and that. These take this medicine, and you know what I mean. At a certain point,
Yeah.
and then you know, my brother, her son, big brother, just expressed the moment of those last moments, and
Mm.
and as a son, he was just like, yo, I just couldn't see her go through that anymore. And he was just like, you know, go ahead, ma. Like, I got it. I got it from here. Everything is going to be all right. And he was talking about her church because she probably was fighting, you know, for us, when you think about it, for her
Yeah.
church, for her members, the people that because she's a shepherd, you know what I mean? So she's fighting for her people, you know what I mean? And he's
Mm.
like, go ahead, ma. You know, I don't, go ahead, rest. Like, rest, go with him. You know, go with him. I know you see him from a distance. You know, go ahead. And that was a very powerful, you know, moment. And you know, we're holding on. We're holding
Mm.
on. And you know, just to mention him, I'm proud of him as well, because he kind of took over the reins in regards to the church,
Okay.
running the remote services, and you know, just building everything and structuring everything from a business standpoint, but then also from a visual and a content standpoint. And that's
Okay.
something he's never done. So, you know, when your back is against the wall, you got to do what you got to do, man. So I really want to applaud my brother Steve Suit White, for holding it down.
That's dope. That's dope. Definitely, man. I mean, again, it's dope that he was able to do that. I'm glad that you're in a better place. Let me ask you this
Thank you.
question. Are you I know you are a motivational speaker as well.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
like, I mean,
it's
like
what
you,
people say, you know. So
yeah,
I was like, you know what, I'll own it. I'll own
nah, you have to
it.
own it, bro. Like, so, because I'm very big on like, I'm very big on spirituality. I'm very big on the power of now, the power of manifestation.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask you, like, do you believe of the power of manifestation? And if so, when did you start implementing that into your mindset?
Yes, and I love that question. I started believing in that as a kid.
Okay.
I picked up drumsticks for the first time in fourth grade. Never had any, aspirations to be a drummer, a musician, a producer, anything, and picked up the drumsticks for the first time. And it was just like magic, you know what I mean?
Mm.
And again, it's like, I don't think that's normal, so it has to be God. It has to be the God-given gifts and talents that he gave me. And once I recognized that and saw what it was, and not even, I'm not saying I understood that the spiritual part of it at fourth grade. I'm just saying it was something there. And I
Okay.
just kind of went with it. And as I got older in age and more mature in life period and from a spiritual sense, it started to make sense. And that's kind of where the manifestation came in, where I started having those dreams of me being professional and me touring the world and playing arenas with thousands of people screaming and applauding, and just hearing that raw of when I hit the kick drum and the snare, and it just resonates through this building that's holding, 20,000 people. I started having those dreams, and then I started believing, those
Mm.
dreams. I started believing that, these dreams are for a reason. And it felt great to be in that arena last night when I was in that dream. It felt great to, be in the studio and having plaques on the wall. Like that was kind of cool in that dream. But it's like, I want to see that be my reality.
Yes.
And that was my thought process. So everything that I've done, I've spoken into existence. From the production aspect, I like called out like, I want to work with Busta Rhymes. I want to be a part of Bad Boy as a hitman producer. I want to, tour. I want to, play drums and, have plaques on my wall and have my own studio. So all of the things that I was saying, like I was working towards.
Mm.
So when those things became true, it was just like, wow, this is everything that I've dreamt of. This is everything that I've hoped for. This is everything that I've worked for. So absolutely, I feel like manifestation is very important. It's everything. It's, you getting a vision of what you want, of who you want to be, what you want to become, right? Believing it,
Mm-hmm.
working towards it, right? And then, allowing it to happen. You know what I mean? But it's about following all of those different steps in order
Okay.
for it to come to pass. So yes, I'm so glad you brought that up, because everything that I'm doing today, I've spoken into existence. And even Trey, I left out Trey. Like I was in the studio with Trey and Mike Jones making a record. Never toured before ever in life, only played in church. And just throw it out there. One day you're gonna need a band, man. This is Trey, first album with the braids, skinny Trey, fresh out the gate, just kind of getting into the game, doing this thing. First song, gotta make it, right? And a year later, got a phone call from his management, like, yo, you ready to put the band together? And I was like, nope. And he's like, well, you told Trey he's gonna put the band together, and he's waiting for you to do that. And that was that another moment of, I mentioned it, I spoke it.
You spoke it into existence.
I didn't know nothing about being a music director or putting a band together. All I knew about was playing drums. And it was a moment where he never had a band. I never put one together. And it was just that dope moment of us coming together and
Mm-hmm.
growing together. Like, we never did this before. So we both going to just jump in the water. We don't know how to swim, but we don't want to die. So we're going to just do whatever we need to do to live. And that's kind of the same concept in regards to, me becoming Trey's music director and tour drummer. And that was 13 years ago, 14 years ago.
Wow.
You know what I
That,
mean? And crazy.
that is crazy. That's dope. Speaking of which, like, let's keep it a buck. Like, being a music director is not an easy task.
Mm-mm,
People don't realize this. Like, this is not an
mm-mm.
easy task. You also have to become a creative director at the same time. And so I want to know is, how do you manage to focus during like challenging moments?
Um, I just view it. I mean, I'm human, so like you said, it's going to be times where it's challenging. It's going to be times where it's difficult. Um, and it's just about taking a step back and understanding what you need to do, no matter how difficult it is, and then kind of looking at it from a standpoint of, well, I'm here, I'm in this position, and I'm in this position for a reason. And that reason is I'm capable. You know what I'm saying? I'm capable of doing whatever it is that's standing in front of me. You know what I mean? So and I'm glad that you brought that up kind of in the same pocket as Trey, because we've done a bunch of different tours that were really big deals. We opened up for Jay-Z on Blueprint 3 tour, which was Trey's first arena tour. Like opened up for Usher on the OMG tour, right? Had our own tours. I think one of our biggest tours personally with Trey as a headliner was the Between the Sheets tour that we co-headlined with Tyga and Chris Brown. Like, that was a big deal. And, moments where it's like, yo, what we gonna do? We got to show up. We got to show out, and there were moments where I was nervous, and I wouldn't say afraid, but nervous, and just wanting to meet the expectations of Trey as a boss.
Okay.
And then the people as well, just for them to come in. And, when you come to a show, you invest, you spend money. You buy a ticket first, you get a dope outfit, you do your hair, your nails as the queens, fellas, we get haircuts, you know what I mean? You're buying the flyest thing you could buy. So you want to come and you want to have an amazing experience. So there's a certain level of pressure to want to give people that experience. And when they leave the concert saying, yo, that was dope. And that's what you want to do. So yeah, there's always pressure. There's always a sense of, will I deliver? And
I wanted to know that, like, you ever felt like, yo, I didn't reach, like, you ever had a moment where you felt like, yo, I didn't reach to my fullest potential?
Not really. And I'm saying that from a humble space, because you have to be careful with those type of topics, right? Because there's always better. And there's always room for growth. So if you look at it from that lens, of course you'll say that, right? But when you sit back and say, yo, did I do the job? And, Trey is happy at the end of the day, and management is happy at the day, and the label is happy at the end of the day, which is who, you work for and work with. That's a great feeling and a great accomplishment. And then when the audience leaves, regardless of whatever city you're in, and they like, yo, and you see in the tweets and in the posts on IG, on Facebook and all social media, and the videos of people just having a great time, that's what you work for. And that's a moment where you feel good. And on the production end, it's about people, saying, yo, that's my favorite record, or that's my favorite song, or yo, you killed that beat, or that track is crazy, yo, I didn't think you could make something like that. Those are all the moments that you hold on to, because yes, you do get the other end of that where, Trey may be like, damn, I don't like that show, or that wasn't a good show. And, or a fan say, yo, I don't really like that record that Amadeus did for so-and-so. You know what I mean? Or a fan is like, damn, what they do to that song? That's my favorite song. And they didn't remix it all up on stage, and I didn't get to really enjoy the moment. So you do have those moments where it might not be the response you're looking for, but you take that response and you allow it to be fuel to your fire. You don't take it in a negative way or a way that they're hating. It's just like, yo, everybody's entitled to their opinion. They're going to feel a certain kind of way. And you take that opinion and you allow it to be positive, make the show better. Don't remove the remix that, I may have had in that song. Make better beats. And then at the end of the day, everybody's not going to like everything. So you can't run around or can't look for every comment or every video or every response and address those situations. Like, no matter what you do in life, there's going to be somebody that's going to be like, yeah, I don't like it, regardless of who you are. So, you can't attack everything,
No, it's funny because that's why I wanted to definitely tap into that, because, being in the game for X amount of time, giving your catalog, we all know that music is intangible.
Yes.
So, like, with all your accomplishments and being a creator within the culture, how is it that you keep elevating and not staying complacent?
Right. I've never been a person to get comfortable. Like, I'll give an example of even me right now and who I am as Amadeus. Like I expressed earlier, to you that I was very exhausted last night. I was very tired. I talked nonstop for like 5-6 hours. And, just was tired. And was like, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, but there's something else that can be done. Like there's something else you can do, because, last year was so horrific. And I don't like the word complain, but discussed about how challenging it was, and how you
Mm-hmm.
wished it was that, and you would wish it was this. And now that the workload is starting to come in, now you're tired, and now you want to take a nap and you want to take a break. It's like, nah. So after I ate dinner, I took a little moment, watched, kick my feet up for a little bit, watched a little TV, and then I was trying to not, jump on Clubhouse and not, send out music, but that wasn't how I didn't think that was appropriate. Like, I felt like that was a slap in the face to God. Like, bet, you asked to be busy, doors are opening,
Yeah.
opportunities are here. Tired or not, take advantage of everything. The weekend is always almost here. Tomorrow's Friday. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really work on Saturdays and Sundays.
Okay.
I take time with my family, play video games, my kids. We go out, grab something to eat, come back. So it's like you got a day before the weekend is here. So give it one more push, and
Gotcha.
that's the type of energy you got to have. And this is me, plaques on the wall, records out, millions. So imagine how I was thinking before I even was in this position. It was even times a billion,
Yeah.
before I was even in this position. And I'm getting older. You know what I mean? I'm getting older. I'm not getting young. I think I look
No.
young. People say I'm looking young. What's today? Today is the 8th.
I have no idea. Yeah, today's the 8th.
20, 22 more days, I'll be 40. You know what I
I
mean?
know, I
And
noticed that. So wait,
yeah,
you're in Aquarius, right? Oh, yeah.
yes, I am. Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a Pisces.
Yeah.
So,
So okay. Okay.
but yeah, you guys
But
Aquarius? Yeah,
yeah,
I give it
man.
to you guys. Yeah. You guys are
We're
cool
a lot.
peoples.
And I can't speak for everybody else. We're definitely cool. We're definitely
You guys are
I'm gonna
out the
speak for me.
box.
Yes, definitely out the box, definitely cool, hardworking, don't give up, go till it's done, But the other
Mm.
side you don't want no part of.
Mm-hmm.
The get me mad, the disrespect me, the cutoff is nuts. Like the cutoff game. And I can only talk for me, because it could be Aquariuses out there that move differently, that have a different personality, and just
Yeah.
I'm a boy. I love you to life, but if you get on the other side, it's a problem, and I don't care who you are. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
blood, friends, we grew up together. You birthed me. Nah,
Listen, I
man.
don't blame it. Trust me,
It's either
I learned that. I feel like in this business, it teaches you a lot,
yeah.
given the fact that you've been in this industry for a minute, and you are a CEO, of your own company.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? Platinum Boys Music,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
you already know, like, and given the time span, let's keep it a buck, man. I know there were many lessons you learned, but is there any particular lesson that you learned that you apply to today with who you are, with your work
Um,
ethics?
man. Yeah, I love. Great question, by the way. It's so many. I think one that really resonates with me is, you know, you. How do I say it? It's like, when you earn your spot, right,
Mm-hmm.
and you become successful, or you develop, or create a name for yourself, a brand for yourself. That doesn't guarantee you a spot. You know what I
Mm.
mean? It doesn't. Your spot is not in stone. It's not like, you put your foot down in the cement, and it hardens, and it's like, this is the spot. You ain't going nowhere. Keep doing what you're doing. You good. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
somebody always, you know, wants your spot, wants to be where you are, respectfully too. It's not like, that's any malice in it. It's just like, yo, you're where I want to be. And if you don't stay focused, and if you don't hustle and work, I'm gonna come right there, and I'm gonna knock you off your spot, and I'm gonna take your spot, and I'm gonna stay right there. You know
It's
what
the
I mean?
circle of life.
You know what I mean? So I think just always willing to work, always willing to outwork yourself,
Mm.
and stay focused. And I've never been one to really compete. Like, I don't compete with anybody.
Okay.
Because everybody's story is written, everybody's journey and destiny is written, and it's just about timing for me, of when you'll arrive and when you'll get to where you are supposed to be, right?
Okay.
But in the midst of in the time being, it's like, what are you doing to get there? God has given you everything you need to get to that spot, but that doesn't mean you sit down, with your fingers, attached, and think that you're just going to magically appear in that position. Nah, you got to make sure that you're doing everything on your end, everything humanly and physically possible to get to that point, you know? So I think that's something that's very important to share, that I feel like, you know, those that are tuned in, you know, would appreciate. Never get comfortable, no matter, you know, all these plaques on the wall is great. It's cool. But, you know, there's another record. You're just as good as your last record, you know?
Gotcha.
Music is being created by the seconds. There's a new this, there's a new that. And, you know, you can't hold that spot forever, you know? So always be willing to reinvent yourself, grow, connect with the future, you know, invest in yourself, surround yourself with the youngins, you know, that are hip to the game. Because, you know, I'm almost 40, man. I don't know everything. I don't know every slang. I don't know every sound, every wave, every dance. But if you surround yourself with people that do, you know, you'll always be kind of in tune.
You know, it's crazy because like you said, like knowing everything that's going on, you know, basically is like educating yourself in a sense,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
You know, but let's keep it a buck also, like, you know, as a producer, as a CEO, we have moments where it's like, I love what I'm doing, right?
Hmm.
But there's times when you don't love it, you
Right.
know? So how do you make it a point to fall in love with your passion, being that you've been doing this for so many years?
Right. And another great question. You know, for me, what pulls at you is the business,
Mm,
right? The politics of the game. It's never the music that you fall out of love with. You know what I
okay.
mean? If that makes sense. It's the music is the driving force. It's the music that you love the most and is passionate about. And it's actually the passion and the love that you have for the music that keeps you going. It's that keeps you going.
Okay.
It's what surrounds it that allows you to grow weary and tired and wanting to be like, oh man, I'm sick of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's the people that, you know, that surround you, that surround not you, but surround the business, that aren't authentic or not real and genuine. You know, could care less of the culture. You know, they knew somebody that knew somebody, and they're in the position that they're in, versus, you know, really earning and working and applying it, what you know, and getting into that position. So it's so many different things that surround music that hinder it, and it just sucks. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So, but it's never the music. The music and the passion for music, it's what, especially me, it's what keeps me
okay.
going. So there's times where, you know, you don't want to do it anymore, or you're just tired, but just know it's never the music that allows you to feel that way. It's everything else that comes along with that.
Gotcha, gotcha. You know, I know, I get it. I do, and I do agree with you with that, because I feel like with me, there were moments where I felt like, yo, do I want to continue doing this? But it was because of the back end, because you said, like you mentioned, it's so stressful. Um, I love the way you speak, because like listening to you speak is very motivational. You understand? You
Thank you.
listen. I look up to you. I look up to how you work and your work ethics and just the way you move. You know, so I know 2020 was a challenging year, but just overall, with so many things happening, when you are knowing that you are constantly inspiring and motivating others, what do you do to go for inspiration within yourself?
Um, you know,
Like,
and
you
that's a
read any
challenge.
books,
Yeah,
any fitness
it's
workouts? What, like?
you know, it's definitely a challenge at times. I do my best to remain prayerful.
Mhm.
You know, I am surrounded, you know, by a lot of love, which I'm grateful for too. You know, sometimes it's about uh, taking in what I give out. You know, so some of those messages that I give out and share on whether it's IG Live or, you know, or Instagram or conversations like these, I think sometimes it's about playing it back. And I said this on IG Live the other day, where sometimes we look towards others to be inspired and blessed and motivated, right? And sometimes we have to turn to ourselves and listen to or play back something that we said to bless somebody else, and allow that to bless ourselves. You know what I mean? Myself, if
Mm,
that makes sense.
okay.
Um, so there's a lot of that as well. Something that I've really tapped into, and I'm glad you brought it up because it kind of slipped my mind, honestly, is working out.
Okay.
You know, when the weather was a lot better, you know, I was bike riding every day. And that
Really?
really, yeah, it was weird. Like my son came over during the summer, and he brought his bike with him, and it was like he had like a week before it was time for him to go back, you know, with his mom, because he lived with his mom, and he never got to ride the bike. So he was like, well, ride the bike. I'll go jump on the city bike. Let's just, do something together and we'll ride. Yo, that was the best thing I could have ever done for myself. It was super fun, and especially with him, we only had an hour or two to ride, but it just ignited something in me to continue to do it. So even when he went home with his mom, and I rode that bike every day, um, it was a blessing to me. And I honestly, being transparent, it was life saving, because it
Yes.
allowed me to get out, because we were all confined to our homes, to the four walls that we live in due to the pandemic, but it allowed me to get out, and the views that I have in regards to where I live at was just a blessing. The bridge,
Yeah.
the Williamsburg Bridge, and and I would just ride and look at the water, and just feel the breeze, and just take in what I needed to take in from a scenic
Mm-hmm.
kind of sense, if that makes sense to you. You know what I mean? And that was a blessing. And then once it started getting cold, started using the gym that's
Mm-hmm.
in my building, and that was a blessing. So from a fitness sense, that really blessed me too, because it allowed for me to release and let go,
Okay.
and from a mental and physical sense. And you started obviously seeing changes in your body, and you start looking different and looking better and feeling different. That definitely was a blessing to me as well. So absolutely, yes.
That's dope. Yo, you speaking to a cyclist right here.
Really?
Yo, yeah. I actually it's funny because I've been doing it already for like 2 years already.
Really?
And I did get hit by a car, a taxi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Wow.
a recovery. But
Wow.
I got up and I'm still
Amen.
here.
Amen.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank God. But I continue. So I understand what you meant by like just getting on that road,
Mm.
the scenery is
Yeah.
just really it's like an organic feeling, like just of like a stress reliever.
Yes, absolutely.
So I get it. I think it's a amazing thing. I would say continue doing it,
Yeah, I
when you
hope. I
can.
hope. Yeah, I wish. You know. The winters here, and obviously, you for the BX, it's like the winters can be brutal, and I think where the area that we live in, it's surrounded by water, so it's very
Hmm.
windy,
Yes.
and that wind, whew,
Yeah.
that wind, and like that wind stuff sucks, and I'm not as advanced as you are cycling, and then on top of that, having to wear a mask is
Yeah.
difficult too. So the wind, and you trying to breathe and hustle, and the wind blowing you, and just not good, and it kind of takes away from the whole purpose of the ride. So I don't know, man. I'm looking forward to the weather kind of cooling, calming down, and then I'll get back to it and just kind of allow the gym to hold me down until I'm able to get back out there. But I can't wait, because I definitely loved it and developed a love for it. And there's a bike in the room in the gym, but it's the one where you sit down and kind of like and
Yeah,
just for your experience, I'll ask you, is that good as well? Because I looked at it, but it wasn't like, I don't know if it's going to give me the same.
I think it's not gonna give you the same, to be honest,
Okay.
but it's a good workout. It's good for cardio.
Yeah,
It's
which
good
is
for
why
cardio.
I got into it from the first place. So it's just, do I kind of raise the resistance, or just is it more about the time, and
See,
how long you do it?
my question for you would be like, what's your goal? Like, are you looking to lose weight? Are you
Yes.
looking to
Yeah.
tone? So
So I'm
like, I
kind
know
of
it's
both,
both.
because when I started riding, it was just from a mental thing, and then that kind of encouraged the gym part, because I shed like a bunch of. I was only riding for like a 45 minutes a day, and then as I got into it more and more experienced, I would do two rides. I
Okay.
would double up the 45 minutes, do an hour and a half or whatever that is, and I saw, out of nowhere, I was like, yo, shed mad weight, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then I started working out, and started toning. So I'm kind of in the middle, where I'm doing a treadmill, I'm doing an incline walks for 30 minutes, or, walking for 30 minutes. But I want to make sure that I'm getting enough cardio in, to maintain that weight loss that I was getting when I was riding the bike.
Gotcha. I would say start timing yourself and bring your resistance up, bring it down, bring it up, bring it down. So that way your heart is racing, and then you're doing both. You're killing two birds with one stone. You're racing your heart where it's
Okay.
cardio, but then you're also toning. So it becomes a little bit difficult, and then the most I would say is like once you start noticing your body getting used to like your resistance going up, take it up a notch.
Gotcha.
Always have I look at it like this, like if your legs are not shaking, you don't have those resistance go up, like
Wow.
you gotta, and I learned this going to spinning class as well. I've always loved spinning, but spinning and cycling on the road is so different.
Different, right? Yeah. And I never did the spinning thing, but
I love it. I would suggest to do it. It's if you can find a dope instructor, I
yeah.
recommend it. I
Nice.
definitely I would go to the gym, with my like to lose weight, the wrap around.
Does that work?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Like I would, so on the type when I work out, like I like to have layers.
Okay.
For
Okay.
me,
Okay.
if I don't sweat, I feel like I wasn't productive.
Got you. Got you.
So
That makes
I'll
sense.
have the, so and I'm big on like right now I'm going back to a routine of working out again.
Okay.
So
Okay.
because pandemic slacked off, so I was just like, no, I'm going back. So I'm a boxer. I used to box.
Nice. Nice.
So
I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems.
Nah. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
Mm.
Yeah, right. But I bought a bag, and to get back into shape, and then with the bike and everything, I would just say like to like just for me, like I said, like if I'm not sweating, then I'm not being productive. So I'm always in layers. I'm with the wrap. Then I have
Okay.
like my Under Armour, since I'm going outside as well.
Okay. Okay.
And then I have a hat and a hoodie,
Yeah. Got you.
and I drench. Then after I'm done, take it all out. Like
Right.
for me, like I said, like because my goal is to lose weight. I am like my structure. That's another thing. You need to know your body. I tell
Okay.
people like you need to know your body. You need to understand your nutrition. What are you consuming?
Right.
So it all falls hand in hand with a lot of things. It's just learning your body type and stuff like that. So for me, because I'm my goal is to lose weight. I know my body retains a lot of water, so I stay away with certain things. I know I'm a sweat. You understand? So it's just all it goes hand in hand.
Got you. Great jewels, great gems.
Nah,
And
definitely.
sorry for taking that turn, but I
Nah,
needed that.
listen, I love all of this, because at the end of the day, that shows people a different side of you.
Right.
Right. So I told you I'm big on sharing your stories. Just I'm sure you get the whole questions of who you are as a musician, as a producer, and etc. Like me personally, I'd rather people know who you are.
Thank you for that.
And I appreciate that. So thank you. I know I wanted to definitely ask you this, because I know like you're one to mention like you don't like getting uncomfortable. You like diving into new things and stuff like that. So my question would be, when was the last time you did something for the first time?
Well, that bike thing was definitely was pretty epic. What have I done? I think probably the IG lives too.
Okay.
Because prior to the pandemic, I wasn't on IG Live at all. Honestly, I didn't really understand the benefits of it. And I learned briefly. So like me conducting interviews, I think on via IG Live was different. And I do the talking and the speaking and all of that, but it's still different because it's about creating an energy and a vibe with conversation. You know what I mean? So I think that I'm trying to think anything else. I think that might be it, man. I'm kind of one to I don't know. That's good. So, that's funny you ask that question.
You're gonna get back to me on that. You're gonna when you find out, you're gonna go on your stories and be like, I got it, V.
Right.
No, but let me ask you about that. Like, I know you're doing the IG lives. Are you also doing like anything like because I know you have your you and your team have Music 101.
Right.
Are you doing that like with Clubhouse or?
Even like the clubhouses, like I haven't like created my own room as of yet or did my own panel. I've always just kind of jumped in and spoke on that. And it's funny because, shout out to my boy and super dope artist, Captain D-Mac. He's actually from the Bronx as well. And when Clubhouse came about, he hit me and was like, yo, bro, you should be on here. Like, this is what you've been doing for the last few years, this whole panel thing. And I kind of, logged in and kind of got the feel for it. And it was like, yeah, it's exactly what I've been doing. It's just now, virtually and, not virtually, but, remotely on our phones, which is really dope. So, I haven't really tapped into that on Clubhouse yet. I do my sit downs, which is the one-on-ones that I do with creators and artists and writers and producers and managers. And kind of, I get a lot of links, DMs and emails of listen to this, listen to that. And I've always been a person of like, nah, invest in yourself. Like I have a lot going on and I have no obligation to listen to anything. Like I don't have to do anything. You know what I mean? And time is precious and time is valuable. So it's like, if you want my time, you want my expertise, you want that one-on-one, book a slot with me on my sit down. And that's been going pretty good actually this year. I think I did 3 or 4 this week for the start of the new year, which is pretty good. And it allows me for, the artists to be heard, play me their records, get my opinion and my thoughts, my value, what I feel, what they should do. Knowledge, a lot of them have records, but don't understand the business. You know what I'm saying? So you signed up to ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, how you distributing your music. Are you with, United Masters? Are you with TuneCore, DistroKid? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's your social media looks like? So from that aspect, I haven't been able to go into the schools, but I have been kind of tapping into that, remotely and virtually. And it has been doing good, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back into those schools and doing what I'm doing. But on a positive note, I have joined forces with Windows of Hip Hop.
Okay.
That's based out in the Bronx. Where they have legends like, Grandmaster Melly Mel and Grandmaster Cass. That's a part of Windows of Hip Hop. And shout out to Melissa LeBron and Principal Luis Torres, who is the principal of PS 55 in the Bronx, which is across the street from where I grew up at. So I'm joining forces with them to do some music classes.
Nice.
They created a course called Instrument Appreciation.
Okay.
Which I'll be, spearheading. So I'm excited about that. I haven't really talked about it, so I'm kind of announcing it here.
That's dope.
So I'm looking forward to that, man, and really being a blessing to those kids. So yeah.
That's dope, yo. Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
That's super dope. If you need any help, please feel free to let me know.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm from the Bronx, and the more it brings me it's a gift to help others, especially from my borough.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So
and I appreciate you offering.
Nah, definitely. Like, keep me posted if anything with that. Super proud of you. Do you have an idea more or less when you will like start this or not? That's just big.
Yeah, it's supposed to be if I'm not mistaken, what's like next, I think not next week, but the following week. So I think 2 weeks from now, I think after the MLK holiday is when the first class, should be. And it's new. It's a new endeavor for me. It's not, what I've normally been doing. So it's like, get the first class in, get a feel of what it feels like, what the kids are like. It's going to be a different age demographic, of course. So just kind of getting a feel of what the vibes are. And then, really building it out, from there and making sure that I'm giving them what's needed, because it's not about just teaching. It's about seeing who's in the room, what they need, what the needs are, and then going after that.
Gotcha. Well, that's dope. Many blessings to that.
Amen.
I definitely want to say just thank you overall for everything. At the end of the day, like I mentioned, you are an asset to this industry. You understand? Like you were part of this whole growth and shift to hip hop, and for some, not, let's keep it about, not a lot of people, they appreciate it. For me, I appreciate the movement of hip hop and where it's at. It just shows me how much can be done.
Right.
So, continue striving, continue getting uncomfortable, because I think that's the beauty of growth.
Right.
I know I wanted to ask you with your one-on-ones, like, has that taught you anything within yourself? Because I know you're
Yeah.
teaching others, and
Right.
but has that taught you anything within yourself?
Yeah, I mean, it's we all always heard that term, practice what you preach. So you
Yes.
definitely have to implement that. I have to, and that's what I was saying in regards to, like, sometimes listening to yourself. Like, yes, you're saying this to someone else, but it's like, yo, are you listening to what you're telling someone else to do? Like, how do you tell someone else to do something, advise someone else to do something, encourage someone else to do something, but at the same time you're suffering and you're not even listening to the words that are coming out of your own mouth.
Mm.
And that can be very, very challenging. It's not the easiest thing to do because, it's like you can say anything. You can encourage anyone. You can motivate. It's words at the end of the day. And it's meaningful, of course, because you want to help others, right? But you can sometimes look to help others and not really think about, making sure that you're good internally. You know what I mean? And I think that's something that can be possibly challenging. And that's kind of something that we've possibly faced from a mental aspect. You know what I mean? Like, where you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not really taking care of you. Like,
Mm.
and I realized that last year. It's like, yo, I'm giving and pushing and being a blessing. It's like, but yo, are you taking the time that's needed for you? Like, to make sure that you're in a good space because you're helping others, but you're not good. And
Mm.
that was kind of a hard pill to swallow, where it's like I had to face that reality of, like, I'm doing all these IG lives, all these conversations. Yo, Amadeus, you the man. Yo, you the GOAT. You the legend. You the king.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, thank you. Yo, 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 yo. And then when I get off live, I'm sitting in a corner somewhere, like, not even believing anything that I'm saying, and not even taking in what people are saying to me,
Mm.
doubting myself, like not looking at myself in that way others are looking at me. So I had to really pray and work on that and deal with that and get a grip of myself first, and then
Okay.
go back into helping others. I had to get me first, you know what I mean? So that's why
Gotcha.
I'm so grateful, you know um to be in the space that I'm in today,
Okay.
in the new year and this new week and this new day, and just kind of really holding on to that, you know what I mean? And I'm grateful.
That's dope. Well, going now that you're back in a place where you feel, you know, um, you're good. What are we expecting from you next?
Hopefully some dope records.
Yes,
Hopefully some
yes.
hopefully some dope records. I got a record on the way. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it, but it's a dope record that I'm excited about. It's probably like a year and a half old, but those records be some of the best records, and sometimes it's about timing. So I'm excited about a record that's on the way. I'll mention a Quali record. We got a record Talib Kweli released
Okay.
late December called The Jukes, featuring an amazing musician, Maurice Brown.
Okay.
It's called The Jukes. Is out right now. The video is out right now. Really dope record, produced by myself and my brother Trilogy Music. We have another record that's on the way called Legends in the Room, that's coming out with Quali. That's really, really dope. Produced by myself, Buddha and Grands, and my brother A-List Fame. So I'm excited about that. But this other record,
Mm.
I might have to hit you with that when it drops. I'm gonna have to, before it drop, all that I get the green light when it's
Let me
official tissue.
know. Let
And I
me
have to hit you with
know.
that since we're talking about it first. I'm gonna have to hit you with that. So that's on the way. Ti produced a record on Ti that dropped late last year. Libra produced a record called In the Hood, On the Hood.
Okay.
Um, and for Ti featured Mozzie and 42 Dub. And shout out to
Mm.
my brother Demiro and Benjamin, produced that with them. Justina Valentine
Okay.
released the album last year called Infrared. Produced 3 songs on there as well with my
Nice.
brothers Demiro and D Money. So so for some records out. Excited about the new year. Excited about teaching and educating the kids. And I'm just ready, man. I'm locked and loaded with music. Ready to get back on these drums if possible. But if the timing is not right during the pandemic, I'll wait. I'll be ready when the time comes. But most importantly, man, just giving back and just being a blessing, and again, just staying positive and making sure that I'm in the right mental space to be the best that I can be. And how can I not forget this, man? 20, 22 days from now, I'll be 40.
For
I'll
yo,
be 40, man. So I'll
you look
keep you
like you
posted on that
16. You
too.
understand?
Yo,
Like
I'm grateful. I don't feel it. I don't feel that way now, but I'm grateful. I'm blessed. God willing, I'm able to see that day. And I know the pandemic is crazy, so definitely probably do some crazy Zoom remote, joint, so whatever I decide on, man, I'll make sure I send that your way so you can definitely toast it up with me and toast it up to this year and life in general. And, we have a good time, man. But thank you for this conversation,
Nah,
man. It's
you already
definitely
know me.
epic.
Thank you, because I've been harassing you for like a minute.
But timing is everything, and I'm glad we were able to get it done. I'm grateful for your patience, and you seeing it in in a positive light. And honestly, you got to better me. You got to better me. This year. So I'm glad that this interview happened today and this year versus last year. Probably been a good interview, but you would have had the Amadeus that kind of was, and be real in pain and trying to find that light in darkness and being stressed and depressed. You know what I mean? Like that's where I was. And, so the timing was right. I'm in none of those spaces, thank God.
Thank
I'm
God.
happy. I'm at peace. I'm ready. I'm focused. I'm alive. I'm healthy, so this is the Amadeus, you would have want to speak to, man. So I'm grateful,
Blessings.
so thank you
Blessings.
so much for having me.
Thank you for for just being here. Thank you again, and I'm glad you are in a good mental space.
Thank you so much.
So let everybody know where can we find you, or your platforms and everything.
No doubt. Amadeus PBM Instagram, AMADEUS PBM on Instagram. I'm on Twitter too, producer Amadeus. But Instagram is really where I'm at. Very, what's the word I'm looking for? Active.
Active, yeah.
Check all my DMs. You know what I mean? So reach out to me. If I haven't gotten to you, I will. I'm all right with it. I'm doing pretty good. But that's the best place to reach me, man, on Amadeus PBM on Instagram.
Definitely. I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching. Love
No
you
doubt.
guys. The Artistry, catch us, V-Henny, V-Henny _ the Artistry NY all platform. And you already know the vibes. Good looking, man, on my days. Have a blessing, and we'll definitely speak soon, okay?
Absolutely. Blessings to you, Queen. Much
Blessings.
love, the Artistry, and everybody
Thank
tuned
you.
in. You heard? Blessings.
The Artistry.
Catch us on YouTube, Facebook, or outlets.
Follow us, The Artistry NY.